That changes the background. We are live.
What's up?
It's 10 o'clock live. We need more guests. All right. No one's one watcher. Let's go. Comment in the chat if you're watching. We're as live as the Masters leaderboard.
But
That was a good one.
Yeah,
Two
jokes. You got-
live.
You got
Two
jokes.
Two live. That was pretty funny. Comment in the chat if you're live. Comment in the chat if you're a Masters athlete. Actually, just comment in the chat. Wave. Do something. If you have a question today, hit it with us. We're going to talk about Game Over. It's Game Over, man. Name that movie.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that background, baby. Look at this guy. Look at that light. Ooh.
Coming up.
Shit, that looks good. Look at the little floral in the background, too. He's got a little
plant.
You see it, little plant. Oh, Sophia. She waving in the show. Welcome to the chat, Sophia. Comments, questions. We got two other watchers. Comment in the chat.
Sick.
If you like Tyler's new background, comment in the chat. He's at the gym.
He's at a coffee shop.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
But he's had the problem in the East.
The problem in the East is here. All right.
Mr. 3000th himself.
Yeah, dude. You're still good. Oh, look at Harley trying to rival you with backgrounds. Let's go.
Dude.
Ethan Taylor. Thumbs up.
Tyler's changing it up today. No more recliner.
Yeah, I like it. He looks better this way.
I know.
Ready to go? Wait till we get him his microphone. Dog. Take that thing anywhere. Even to the gym, Harley.
Do what?
I don't mind getting dirty.
Say you can take your microphone anywhere, even to the gym.
Just carry it around.
USB plug-in, my dude. All right, well, we're here. We're live. I titled this one Game Over. It's Game Over, man. Game Over. What movie is that from? Name that movie.
I have no idea.
Aliens with an S.
Oh.
You guys haven't seen that movie? Too young?
I didn't hear the name.
Aliens with an S. Aliens.
Oh, Aliens? Yeah.
Which people say Aliens 2, but it's not. Because Alien is the first movie.
Exactly.
And then Aliens with an S.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ridley Scott, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The new one's going to be sick.
Dude, Prometheus, like all those are all good.
Yeah, but
if you watch them in order, like if you watch them in order and then Prometheus is a prequel, like there's so many sort of like callbacks and like little connections throughout that universe. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what they're going to have is they're making a movie right now that's going to fill in the gap between Alien and Aliens. Because in Aliens, when they brought what's her name, Ripley, back from the hyperbolic chamber times where she's out there sleeping, cryo sleep, there was a huge gap of story, and they're going to tell that story, which is going to be sick. I'm excited.
I didn't even know it was coming out.
I didn't either. Yeah. Thanks for the heads up.
Well, there's a trailer. It's cool. You want to play it on here? We can play it on live. We got.
So we're just turning it into a movie channel.
Yeah. The age group leaderboard is freaking non-existent. So we could talk about that. Oh man, I love movies.
Nothing better to talk about. I've had this conversation already a dozen times, and I haven't had a debrief call yet.
Oh, I haven't even talked to anyone. I will not. Hey, if you're at Masters, there's 8 people. Comment in the chat. If you're one of my athletes and you're watching this right now, I don't want to hear it. Okay, it is what it is. CrossFit can't get their shit together. Technology is hard. I get it. Or like, I don't know. Heather, say what you said earlier. You're gonna break some people's hearts. But what'd you say? Like CrossFit comes out and says on the leaderboard
that they broke the leaderboard and that they're all gonna have to resubmit everything.
Yeah. Like, oh, sorry guys, we actually had technical difficulties and we lost all your scores.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And like everything that got locked on Saturday, like is gonna reopen and it's gonna get wild.
It's not gonna happen. But that was funny. When she said I died, I was like, no, that would be the death of everything.
You never know. I mean, it's been 12 hours and it's still not fixed.
Okay, let's speculate. You guys think anything's wrong?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. I don't.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I don't. I just don't have faith in the system very much anymore. Like, not to be a complete pessimist, I just think little things go wrong all the time. So I would just like plan for the worst and then, hope for the best. But it's okay. Like, it'll
Wow.
get
Okay.
straightened out. So I wouldn't stress over it. But at the same time, like, it is what it is.
Oh, see, Tristan thinks
No,
there's
Tristan,
a problem too.
there definitely is a problem. Yeah. You know what it was? It was Bill Grundler cheating. Actually, he got pulled off the leaderboard Saturday. He was cheating. I don't know what he was
Did he?
for.
He got a
What?
What'd he
zero.
do?
He got
Workout
0.
one.
I don't know. He got 0.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
0. The only reason why we know that is because I have an athlete in that age group, and he was up on the leaderboard and then was like, "Oh, did you see? He got a 0." I'm like, "Well, no, I'm not following it that closely because I'm not in 55 to 59, but you are, and you told me so. I love it."
What about talk about zeros? So the fact that they are reviewing workout one for age group is sort of I think a good thing. The conversations I've had about that is who is reviewing it. So like, is CrossFit reviewing these videos, or is it Legends' responsibility to review these videos now? Because there is CrossFit still.
Yeah.
So they're handing off the baton after this to semifinals, right? So
that's what I've heard. They haven't like updated, so that's what we know.
We're assuming that Legends is going to program semifinals.
Yes, based on what they've said.
Okay.
They could change it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's kind of good to see that they are trying to be, a little bit more on top of the ball, or, on top of their game of reviewing videos, even for the age groups. Because I was speculating with how many videos are going to come through that they might not even look at any, or they might look at only like top 10 in each division. But I've heard that people are moving around a little bit. You just alluded to Bill, getting, kicked off the leaderboard. So it's going to be interesting to see. What? I've also heard like there was a guy in our gym who was like, "Man, I got asked for a video and I don't have it." So, we'll see sort of what happens with those scenarios too. Like, if you're just out, you're out. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I think because of what they said, if they like, where's that person? Do you know what rank they are?
Oh, I have no idea. I asked him. He didn't even know.
Oh, okay.
He's like in the 60s.
Yeah, because we have Kathy who got asked for videos also, and she's outside of the 200. If they give those people 0, I'm gonna be a little upset. That's stupid. You're wasting your time with people who are outside the 200. Video review the people, like, I don't want to say that don't matter. For the process of moving on, video review the people that matter. Right. Like, why are you asking for Kathy's videos? I think she was 250 though. So maybe
she was like 249 or something.
Okay, so maybe there was enough issue inside her age group that maybe that she's going to move inside.
They did say that everyone from 250 and below, they were going to ask for videos. Okay. They were going to require.
They did.
Oh, I thought
so
it was
they probably
200.
just went through the leaderboard and like looked who didn't have videos and just were starting to email those people, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, and then even for Legends, what Bob and Joe said, a couple of things, like they're going to get money from the people that signed up for quarterfinals from CrossFit. I hate that thing does that. I got to turn this off. Stupid emojis. Then they're going to get money for semifinals from CrossFit. So I would be willing to bet, Harley, though, back to the video review, that the semifinal video review is going to be probably handled by CrossFit and the same people, because the people who become video reviewers, it's just volunteer. Like Mona was on the video review staff for the Open, but then she got off of the staff because she was going to be competing in quarterfinals. So that's also pretty good too. The only problem though is like, I don't know if she willfully did that, but I think if you're not competing, if you're competing like the stage or whatever, that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think you can become a video reviewer, which might make it problematic because sometimes
is that your opinion, or is that what they're actually saying?
I don't know if that's what they're saying. I'm saying that if that is what they're saying, and I don't want to go down this route of like, just because you're a better athlete means like but like typically if you are moving on to quarterfinals, you move a little bit better, you can do more skills, you probably understand the sport, you're into the sport a little bit more. So I don't know if they should, like, if they do cut you out.
I think there's plenty of coaches and people out there that understand the sport that just
sure, but okay, no, because like
going to semis.
Yeah, but like there's coaches,
enough to review videos, I think.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, because even Max El-Haj went to sectionals and stuff back in the day. Like they're in this, like, even though people say like Max doesn't train now, like this is a good example of a coach.
But is Max El-Haj going to semifinals in age group?
Nobody could probably.
Oh,
if you
I'm just
trained.
saying, like he would be an example if he wasn't going.
Yeah,
top
but what I'm saying
200,
is
that could do that.
historically, he's done the sport. He's moved forward in the
Yeah.
sport at a high level. So he's very in depth. He understands movement quality, mechanics. Like he also coaches some of the best people in the world.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't know if you're getting, like, say if one of our GPB members wanted to get on this review staff, like I feel like they'd have to do so much education to be good at watching
Well, I'm
these videos.
sure there's. Well,
What do you think,
Harley?
Harley?
I would hope there's some kind of requirement for these people
I think you sign up, show up.
beyond just like.
I feel like
taking the
they're
judges
desperate.
Course.
I think that they'll take anyone who can express some competency in the judges course. And I don't know if they have like some assessment or like briefing for them, you know, like here is like the judges course, and then here is the online video review process, like workshop, you know, like if they do something like that to like further educate the people who are going to go through this process, I think a lot of people could probably do it. I don't know how much actual historical like knowledge you need to do that, as long as you know what you're looking for. And if you do fuck it up, ideally they do, you know, respect people contesting penalties and filing appeals and things like that. But you know, there's no way to know, like, unless you're in that process, and I'm not.
I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna sign up next year. I'm gonna get in the process. I want to know.
I have a guy at the gym here who is very involved. He goes to like almost every major CrossFit event, Wadapalooza, TFX, semifinals. He was semis last year. He's like very involved in athlete control. I think he does part of the video review process as well. So I can ask him and ins and outs, and we can circle back. But I just don't have the info right now.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. No leaderboard. I just refreshed again to try and see. I'm like crossing my fingers that it comes up live as we're talking on the show.
All right. Do you want to hear a funny anecdote? Well, not funny. An anecdote. I'm going to say it neutrally because I have no opinion, no feelings about this person one way or another. I don't know him. What?
You already said it was funny. You already think it's funny.
No, some people think it's a little funny, and I just think it's unfortunate.
All 10 watchers, after Harley tells this story, you let me know in the chat if it's funny or not. Go ahead, Harley.
All right. So a guy at neighboring gym, he was top, I think he was 12th at the West Semi last year.
Oh,
dude, so
I know who it is. I know who it is. Don't do that. You already threw him under the bus. That's too.
No, he's good. No, he's just good, right?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
he's very, very good, and he's been good for a long time. He apparently submitted the score wrong on workout 4. He only listed the reps.
Did that.
Yeah, multiple people have done it.
Like
Because you
just
can't
on how
read.
many AMRAP reps they
You
did.
can't
at the end?
read. This is not a funny story.
Yeah.
This is a stupidity story.
It's sad. It's kind of a bummer because he's outside of the top 40. I think he's in like 300th now because he listed his score as he did 25 reps, not as he did 55
Maybe that's
reps.
what's happening with the masters because they are old and they can't handle technology. So
I feel
Maybe.
attacked all of a sudden about that.
maybe. Oh man.
So anyway, so the conversation that goes,
Zen girl. I just can't believe anyone would do that.
yeah,
Face palm emoji. I mean, people did.
I'm
People
over
did.
here doing the same
Then
thing,
we,
dude.
then we got this right here. There are tons of athletes who have done that.
Exactly. So the reason this is a prevalent, not even a prevalent issue to like the greater sort of sport is just here's just someone who is a bubble games athlete, a perennial semifinal
Look, man.
athlete, really, really good, made a simple mistake, right? Like, it's like Todd said it was a stupidity issue, but it's like,
No,
man,
listen,
like
listen,
you made a
listen.
mistake, and that
No,
sucks.
No,
But now the further conversation is
Get
if
out.
he was to send an email,
no,
has a video with it,
no,
can they appeal that?
no. Hard no. It's a rule. It's like it says when you go to put your score in. I like stuff like that though, because that's like sport. You step on the line, it's out of bounds, bro.
Did it
That's
not
it.
when you submit the score? Did it not say like 10 reps, 10 reps,
It does.
10 reps
Yes.
completed,
It
and
should.
then
It
It
should.
shows
whatever,
you.
right?
No, it shows you. So
Okay,
you
well,
put in
you
it
just
shows
were
you
not even
you did
looking
this
then.
many reps. It says make sure you put in blah blah blah. Like, nah, man, you out.
So
Sorry.
So let's get out of the scope of CrossFit. I agree. It's part of the game, and like if they don't, adjust the score, like I'm okay with it.
Oh,
Doesn't
this
bother
one's
me
funny.
one
This
way.
one's funny. Hold on, Matthew. I'm behind, but good morning. Hope everyone is enjoying their placing age group leaderboard. I know. I hope you guys are really excited about where you placed online in your competition and your final results have been revealed to you. That's a good one.
So I think about a month ago, Jordan Spieth, he's like a PGA golfer. He signed the wrong scorecard, and I think he missed. They didn't allow him to advance through the cut because he signed the wrong scorecard, not because he didn't play well enough in his round.
Yeah.
But so that was a multi-million-dollar mistake because that's how much they make per tournament, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that
Be a
sucks.
professional.
Be a
Let's
professional.
have
Yeah.
a call. Let's have a call-in
It's
show.
so hard.
This guy needs to get on the show. He's been on the show. Let's have a call-in. He disagrees on this one.
He
Do you think he
disagrees.
should? So Tristan thinks that he should
get
get
his
his score
reps.
adjusted.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I have a heart. I think that's okay. I like it when sport has like clear rules and then you like don't do it. And it's an easy thing to do. And then I love people just getting a spoonful of like, hey man, be better. Teach you a
Yeah.
lesson.
Part of me is like, I want the governing body to have like some empathy to the people who dedicate their like lives into this process, because we have one opportunity to qualify to the next stage. It's not like Jordan Spieth, who has another tournament next weekend, is going to make another
True,
multi-million dollars. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
to them, right? Because they have more opportunities. This is like our one weekend to get through, and to have it revoked over a silly mistake is a bummer.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, rules are rules. Part of me is like, I hope the governing body has a sense of empathy and compassion to the like dedication and time that people are devoting to this, to just take a second look. The issue with that is then they'd have to potentially take a second look at everyone,
Yeah.
rather than just making an exception. Because then
Right.
what happened when Brooke Wells like submitted a
Yeah, you
bad
open the
video?
floodgates. I like that argument
And
too.
everyone was mad, and then Jacob Hefner didn't get a fair shakeout as well, the following year on a handstand push-up standard, and they were just like, too bad, and he didn't get to go to didn't he miss regionals that year because of it?
Yeah,
Something
he did.
like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether you're a big name or not, if you treat one person the wrong way and one person the right way, or sorry, you make a decision based, whatever, if you make the same decision in two different ways for two different people are going to be mad no
Well,
matter
what's the point of the rule though?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think historically they've drawn the line and they're very rigid in the line, I think.
Well, in the game of exceptions, they're not rigid, because there's the Danny Spiegel not locking out muscle ups, not getting a major penalty, but then Jake Berman, Noah Olsen get 90-second penalties for not doing
in the
physical
score
training.
submission.
I like this. This is
getting
true.
their
And that's what
scores in.
Harley's getting at. Is Zen Girl. I like the clear rules, and it's super sad when it happens. They're just inconsistent, and that's my issue. And I do think there is some inconsistency, but I think broad and generally they uphold the letter of the law for the rules. It just might seem inconsistent sometimes when you don't look at like the finer details. I think this one is like one of those gray areas, but like upholding the rule for Grit House or Grit Haas, however you say their gym, like that was the rule, right? And like that guy, I like mad respect, and he should still be on the team. And I feel bad for that team because he is a coach there. He is fire station there. But like the rules say, you got to do the workout in the affiliate with a video. And there are a lot of people going to affiliates and flying and making the sacrifice and everything else. You did that workout over 7 seconds better, and it didn't even improve the team. You didn't score for the team. You made a stupid mistake because your ego and wanted to get better in that workout. And now your whole team suffers. Like it's the affiliate owner's job, the coach's job to know these rules and try to help enforce the rules. So those athletes, they need a better coach. They need to look at themselves. It trickles down way beyond stuff, right? And like, if you let one team slide, even though, yeah, I get it, he's part of the community, he's a coach there, that sucks. But the rule says you have to do it in the affiliate. He did it at the Firehouse. It's not gray. It's not inconsistent. It just sucks. And, I'm glad that they're doing stuff like that. It's real shitty. The thing says you got to enter your score, make sure your scores are correct. It says it there in the submission. Like, take a couple of seconds. Also, let's not forget Annika Guerrier, didn't screenshot her score saying submitted, and like the internet went down or whatever her story was. And then she missed out on going to semifinals because she didn't put her score in quarters. And she was at underdogs, and Justin Kotler and everybody else, and her manager missed that. And there's way more details to that story, but she didn't put her score in. She has video evidence and proof of that workout and it's time stamped. She's also in another athlete's video that did the workout at the same time that also submitted a score. Like there's a bunch of proof and evidence, but the rules say you need to get your score in on time and it needs to be correct. Also in the judges course, it says that you and your judge are responsible for reporting the correct score. So like I get Tristan's point, but like if we start bending those rules, well then where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like now we're not reporting correct scores appropriately into the system that is this thing that you're so passionate about that you spend the whole year training for and you can't do the simplest thing correctly. Well, maybe you should sit down and have an evaluation with yourself and look at those things because you care about it. You spend a bunch of time, like Harley said, like I mean, there's two sides of it. Like I feel bad and that sucks, but also like, hey man, all you had to do was put it in right. Says on the scorecard too. And I know that's like a harsh like statement because I can see like Harley's face. He's like, damn, that sucks. And I know Tristan's probably like fuming like right now, just like, and I feel the same way. I see both sides, but I like them rules. Oh, he has a dog in the fight. That's why. Oh, you're emotionally driven about it. I just like the rules. I got nobody in the fight. Tristan says, I see both sides and I'll admit I currently have a dog in the fight. So I'm going to fight for them. And you should. I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, go by all means, dude. I hope that they get in and then they rectify these things. And everybody who did that can make that submission and they'll adjust the leaderboard and we'll be good to go. And they do it for everyone, not just a couple of people. But I also, rules is rules, man. Especially when you're that high up. The rules like really, 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 really apply to you. If you're age group top 200, like don't be skirting it because you're going to pay for it. It's going to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out all the stops, Tristan says, with crying emojis.
Yeah. It sucks for anyone who has made the mistake, but it is what it is.
You're too fired up.
I think well, I mean, everybody wants it to be able to adjust the scores, but to keep the professionalism of the sport, there has to be lines, there has to be
the hobby society of it.
And Tristan, 109% better fix it for everybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, that's a good segue about evaluation responsibility. So since we have no leaderboard, except for individuals, which I had a couple individuals, we'll let that dust settle for them. I think this was a hard year. The workouts themselves, like, having 20, we could just talk about this broadly and generally. What do you guys think about the 25% competing against people? Cause like we have what'd she get on? Christina McCracken, what'd she get on?
285.
285th place.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought you were going to ask about that.
She got 285 reps on the wall ball burpee box jump over workout. And she got like a top 300 score in her age group.
Well, we had 3 members in the gym get 12 to 15 reps, like women, from finishing the wall ball burpee workout.
Yeah, GPP
that are just
members.
like GPP members.
So to give you context, like that's I'm sure that's happening in a lot of affiliates, especially in a cardiovascular workout like that. If you're pretty good at bounding and you're medium height, the wall ball's not too hard. How do you guys feel about stuff like that? Like the workouts themselves? Because 1 and 2 definitely, unless you're super fit, you're really messing up the bubble athletes, or you're helping people out too, I guess, by like pushing other people away from you.
After seeing, I really just scrolled thoroughly through the men's individual in the West. Like I didn't actually analyze every region. So I don't know if this is true for a lot. Now, obviously I don't know everyone in every region, but I looked through the West because I just have friends in California, I have friends all over that, I sort of have these familiar names, it's sort of like landmarks. I sort of have an idea where people should be or should be, right? Like I have this expectation of who's fit, who's not. And there's a handful of names that were not in the mix the last 2 years, and they're in the top 70 to 80 this year. And I'm like, wow, I haven't seen your name up there in a while, and you just crushed it this year. Maybe they, revamped their training and got back into it. Maybe this set of tests and the programming bias this year or more inclusive fitness allowed people who have lesser movement quality, lesser skill capacity to just express their huge fitness capacity. Does that make sense? Like their huge aerobic capacity. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there are a few people that, looking through those names, I don't want to call them out, that if there's a max snatch again at semifinals, they're going to snatch like 225. And it sucks. But like, it sucks to someone who has their ego in the, you know, mix, and they're like, oh, well, I snatched 250, so like I'm better than them. It's like, yeah, but their capacity is just bigger, and then this set of tests, they were able to capitalize upon that, right? So I find this set of tests interesting because of the bottlenecks and the lack of separation in scoring in a lot of the tests.
Yeah.
Which we can dive into more if you want to.
I think we should save that for another show, because our regular guest star, Tristan, would love to deep dive into the tests.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about other stuff after this. But yeah, keep going, Harley.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people are going to be disappointed by the number next to their name. Especially if they've been like working on skills all year or getting stronger all year. And like, you know, you look at the big picture of their individual fitness, and they're probably a lot better than they were before because of it.
Yeah, and there's girls like me who finished the gymnastics workout because I'm a rope climb savant. That should not happen.
Right. And then there are people who are just shaking up the leaderboard who are just those, you know, GPP members of the huge aerobic base. So
yeah.
Like, these people are getting pulled down the leaderboard. They're probably going to feel a little upset and discouraged by it this year. But we just have to look at, all right, well, we have to prioritize capacity like we used to in the 5-week open. Yeah. Like, if you think about what this set of 4 tests and the open look like this year, 7 workouts, they look a lot like the 5-week open.
Yep.
In my opinion, that's what they resemble.
I agree.
And back in the day, capacity ruled king. And that's where we're at. If this is any glimpse of like what the future is going to hold, it just means that the cut just got harder. And capacity ruled king.
Yes and no, because Dave said that they're going to make the open matter. So like you're saying, I think the easiest thing to do is bleed them together. So you come into quarters with the rank from the open, and then you just continue on, and that would make it exactly like you're saying. The open and quarters is the 5-week, but it'll be now 7 tests, which I think is appropriate. Especially to get to semifinals. I really would love to see that. If we're going to speculate, I would be like, yep, cool. I know people will be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Nah. I'd be like, no, the 3 tests for the open is great. Add the other 4, off to the races. I'd be happy as a clam.
I'm going to leave for the open then.
Well, and beyond.
I'll see you here. I'll see you here, man.
Finance.
I suck.
A good thing you own a house there so you can claim residency. I don't want to. Oh, dude, let's not go down this road.
Well, I was gonna say, but beyond financial, what would be the benefit to keeping that many, like 25%? Like, I think that it should.
Well, the 25% would be negated because you're going to keep the open rank, but you could still have people get into quarterfinals at the 25% and still let people continue their competition season, which is in line with the verbiage and language they've been using of having more people learn how to compete in the sport, which, man, we're going to get a good segue right now for the next half of our call. This is good. I like this. Because Harley brought up a lot of good things. And then what are you going to say?
Yeah, I think that that wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that, you know, I'm biased. I'm over here like, well, I'm not as fit where I'm at living as where I like to compete. So that's why I leave elevation whenever I go to compete, because I suffocate. I can't breathe here to save my life. And that's okay. But that's a me problem. And I'll figure it out. If that's what they change the rules to, I'll figure it out next year. If I want to compete, then I'll do what I have to do that. But regardless, I think that that's a great format for people who want to advance. It adds importance and it makes the open relevant again, which I think a lot of people have been trying to like advocate for. I loved the 5-week open back in the day. I think that from an opportunity to sort of like test and retest and like refine your, you know, skill of competing online and digging in and really finding your true limits, this opportunity for people to retest this year, I was skeptical of it at first, but after watching a lot of people improve on their second attempt and just learn about themselves and how to perform better, I think it's actually going to make them better as athletes down the road.
Oh yeah. Well, let's dive into that, because this is what Heather and I have been talking about. Is like, okay, now we did this workout, these workouts, and before we do that, Zen Girl, I thought they were good tests, and to be honest, I think they're the hardest ones I've done. She's done CrossFit for a while, so that's saying a lot. I like that. Thanks, Zen Girl. You got to get a profile photo up, just because the Z. I know who Zen Girl is. It's just because
Come on, dude.
commenting, and you got to look cool. You got to have a cool, like, it doesn't have to be cool. It could be whatever, but not the Z from your name. Figure it out. It's all right. It's hard. She's a master's. I don't know. We'll see how good she is at technology.
She asked me if she should send in her videos. I was like, are you going to send the link via email or carrier pigeon, or are you just going to put them on the leaderboard?
Yeah.
I'm offended by that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You know how to use a computer, Heather?
I'm poking fun.
Okay.
I'm
It's
a
okay.
bully.
See?
I get it.
She got good spirit. She got laughing, crying emojis. Words are hard. So Harley brought up a good point, and I think this is because it's game over, right? Season's done for 99.9% of people, except for all our masters who are freaking badass. But we actually don't know who those people are because there's no leaderboard. So I'm just praying and hoping that everybody who was in the top 50 basically stayed inside the 200, and we're going to be good to go for semis. But now you're looking at it, and like Harley alluded to, there's some athletes who are going to be heartbroken. There's some names that he knows that are not in, the placings or ranking. I know a bunch of athletes who have been 2 times semifinal athletes the last couple of years and now are outside, not going to be going as individuals. And it's like, yeah, okay, the tests are different. So that's the first place. Let's start with this. The tests themselves. I hate this shit where people, and I hated this historically too with the open, of like, oh, my overall ranking was 3,000, and this year my overall ranking was 2,000, blah, blah, blah. Okay, one test maybe in the open was 5 weeks, was a repeat. So yeah, sure, compare yourself to that repeat, I guess, but you can't compare your overall ranking to the rest of everyone else, because there are different workouts, and there's different people that sign up for the open every year. That's like making the assumption that we all sign up, the same exact people in the same exact age group sign up for the open or quarterfinals every year. And this year, you have 25% more people, and we already gave you the example.
It's not 25% more. Your math.
Yeah. Sorry.
You have potentially 2 times to 2.5 times if everyone who qualified signed up.
Right.
So you have substantially more people in the group.
Yes. Yeah. A lot. Sorry. I was just generally, but thank you, Harley. Could run the numbers. Give us the real number of how many people more. Either way, there's more people
I don't want to.
than last year at the 10%, right? So your field has grown. So now there's more opportunity. Like we said, with the GPV members coming in and messing up the leaderboard. And what they're doing is like pushing you down in your fitness, because they have a singular characteristic of monostructural. Because I think the wall ball burpee box jump over 1 is the one that could mess people up enough, because it's low skill. You just need aerobic capacity, and you need to be able to throw the ball, and it's going to mess up your rank. But with CrossFit, it needs to be broad times multiple domain. So if your consistency is high across all the workouts, you're probably not going to push down too much, but you're still going to accumulate more points on the leaderboard than you otherwise would have, which then pushes your overall ranking down. Because if you don't understand how the leaderboard works, if I get first place in a workout, I get 1 point. If I get 100th place, I get 100 points. That is all dictated by the number of people in between me and, where I want to be or whatever. It has little to do with like my actual fitness. It just means that 99 other people are better than me at wall balls and burpee box jump overs, which is pretty wild when you think about it. But anyway, so like you're getting pushed out by more people, completely different tests. And so from year to year, it's really hard to sit back and try to evaluate, like, well, because I hear this all the time in gyms and from athletes. Well, I did better last year, or last year I was X, and this year I was Y. They're completely different fucking years.
Yeah. But they can't give you any tangible things.
If the workouts were the same every year, year to year, then I would totally agree.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this year, guys, we're going to all line up and run the 400-meter run. Next year, we're all going to swim 400 meters, and we're going to see who's better. And then you gauge yourself and your self-worth based on the fact that you were worse than when you ran the 400. It's like, what? No. Or you were like, oh yeah, I'm so much better because we swam a 400. That's crazy talk. So that's like the first place to start for athletes. Now that's game over and we're going to evaluate our year and where we're going to go. Start with that. Don't come to the table with, well, last year I was. Start with that. Last year doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the tests individually and start evaluating them. And even last year, evaluate those tests individually and start looking at the characteristics. So we could go deeper into this in the workouts, whether we like them or not. But workout 1, quarterfinals, characteristics. What was it?
What do you mean?
Snatch, row,
Oh,
box step up. All right. So hinge, barbell, cycling, CP battery, rowing, aerobic power output, kind of a hinge, not really, but posteriorly driven, high power output, box step ups, leg endurance, grip endurance, right? Go back to the snatch, grip endurance, pulling on the rower, a lot of grip endurance. But then after that, it's like, okay, it's a fight gone bad style workout. I would say local muscle endurance, general global endurance, and repeatability. Agree, everyone?
yeah.
Add additions. All right. So from there, you look at that characteristic. That workout could have been where it's going to keep the rower because it's the open, it's quarterfinals. But rowing, the barbell could have been thrusters, could have been front squat, could have been power clean and jerk, could have been jerks, could have been any barbell movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then the step ups could have been box jump overs, could have been single dumbbell, keep it the dual dumbbell. What other box movements? Could have been wall balls. Could have been more double unders.
Yeah. Lunging.
Lunging in place. Could have been a lot of different things, but the characteristic of what it's asking, the demand, is all the same, even if you replace those movements, right? We agree or disagree? Agreed. Cool. So as an athlete, that's the first place to look at. It's how many reps can you do in a minute? We do that all the time. Jason Klepa, Mr. Imam. I used to do a program design, Mr. Imam, you know?
No. Imam of the day is obsolete, and now it's Imam Company. It's Brandon Luckett.
Oh, my bad.
He is relevant.
He took it over. That's because Jason
Jason handed it off.
Yeah, he does AMRAP mentality, Imam workouts, like NC. What was the NC Fit thing before they had it? It was like NC. Shoot, Miranda did it.
NC Compete? No.
No, it was before that.
Yeah.
But they had the whole crew, remember? Yeah, whatever. He can't figure it out. Now he's got hard work or whatever, or work harder.
Train hard.
Train hard. Train hard. That's what it is. He's got THPO. Train hard pays off. Anyways, yeah, it's Imam work. So when you're training and you're learning about yourself, figure out how long or how many reps you can do in a minute of something, and then create that construct around all the movements that we do in CrossFit, and build that out, and then start building where you're going to go with that. Right? Workout 2, wall balls, burpee, box jump overs, general aerobic capacity. High rate of travel, high threshold training. You could go outside and run, a 5K every day and get better at that workout.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's movement specific stuff and you'd want to build those things out. But like, are we in agreement that aerobic general quality is a 5K? Harley's smiling.
Yeah, I described it as a 5K to my class members, but from a training perspective of how you get better at it.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want to get, yeah, I know.
train a 5K.
Okay, everyone who's listening, remember, we're reducing it down so you could understand.
Simple comparisons.
Yes. We don't want to get too complex. That's for one-on-one coaching. Workout 3, skill gymnastics, obviously pulling endurance. I would argue rope climb technique if you can do the handstand push-ups.
You keep bringing up the rope a lot.
Yeah. I watch people not climb the rope effectively and efficiently.
No, I think that you can lose the workout in the rope, but I think you also can lose the workout in the rings.
The rings.
In the ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just aren't resilient to ring muscle ups with that much compounding pressing fatigue,
and like homeboy, Mr. Harley said, too many people are pulling on their ring muscle ups. So it's also a technique thing. If you could learn how to press down and use your hips on the rings, you'd be a lot better.
Yeah, I heard a lot of anecdotes of oh, my pull was gone on the rings. And then I watched videos of watching Zen Girls videos of where she couldn't even support herself in the bottom of the dip her pull was fine, her turnover was great, but she couldn't support herself in the bottom of the dip because her shoulders and triceps were so fatigued.
Yep.
Perfect, right?
It's like Tristan
And
says,
then,
pulling and pressing capacity test.
yeah, of course, it's just compounding upper push pull for sure.
For the athletes.
And then people who, to what Todd just said, aren't able to use their hips effectively, if that tuck from the rope and the flexion from the toe to bar compounding upon each other, takes away that hip pop, and you're dependent of the hip pop and not pressing down, closing the shoulder angle to initiate the turnover.
Right.
There's basically three different factors that could be a limitation for someone, and I think everyone experienced something different based on where the weakest link in their chain is.
Yeah, in gymnastics. So we're talking pull, press, muscle endurance. Gosh, I hate this thing. Technique. And what was your third one, Harley?
Well, people who just aren't efficient with utilizing core tension, like midline tension.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
sure.
Core rigidity or gymnastics rigidity in the midline. Your shapes. So shapes, technique, and local muscle endurance of the biceps, triceps. It's like that builds an easy training program, realistically. And it keeps it broad in general that allows you to attack other things as well.
So for all the coaches out there, if you build a 3-day-a-week training plan for a muscle up development for someone who's limited in that skill, you have 1 day midline and shapes, 1 day pressing, pulling, muscular endurance work, and the other day technique and turnover neurological efficiency. Boom, you have like a badass muscle up program. You're welcome.
And you're assuming these are people who got to the muscle ups and got like, well, what do they say, 3 to X number of reps?
1 to 5, 1 to 10.
Or yeah, whatever. 1. You're saying 1. I mean, they express enough capacity to get 1. So yeah, you would do that. If you didn't even get to the ring muscle ups, obviously it's still those things, but you want to find out where that is really. A hot take. Let's see the hot take from Tristan. Best program workouts of quarterfinals. It is. I think I agree.
This year, yes.
Yeah, out of the 4, yeah. All right, and then the barbell one, you had to be strong enough. Listen, I only got 1 rep, but I gamed it, and like that 245 was not hard. But I didn't do as many as everybody else. But like the capacity to get through the 30, what I did think was cool. Honestly, the capacity to get 30 is this: if you're strong enough to move that last barbell, or let's just say generally you're a male athlete and you can do a 315 to 325 clean and jerk. You're a female athlete, you can do like a 200 to 215 clean and jerk. You are strong enough to do that workout. Where you may have faltered or failed is that I would say the third weight barbell, you haven't done enough repeatability work, or like echo bike sprints and barbell cycling at a heavy load or whatever, choose your machine, and built up enough resilience to that barbell to make it in and get like those, what you would need is like 12 to 25 reps pretty handily. If you want to be at the top, I would say 20 to 30 reps was good. Anything beyond 23 reps, when I was looking at the leaderboard, you don't get that much of a return. So it's really about that 20 rep range. If you were at 9 reps, you're kind of SOL, but not too bad. But it's really like that 15 to 12 to 23 reps, I would say you were in good standing if your gymnastics workout was good and your wall ball workout was good.
So it depends on what division you're talking about. So another anecdote, guy in the West, top 70 in all 3 workouts. He got 12 clean jerks to the last bar, didn't make it. He was like 65th. So depends on what level of the sport and what division you're in. Yeah. So you can have phenomenal finishes across the board. 12 was not enough for that test. It just is what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, we take my athlete Meg, who finished 173rd in the West, and she did 6 clean and jerks and got like a 700, but like she's not strong, so that's not unexpected of what she got. And then with a 700 score, she still finished 173. So like you could still be super awesome and then like fill that hole and be like right up the leaderboard. But that's true for, I mean, all the workouts realistically, but like specifically that clean and jerk one, I don't think was weighted as heavy as the other 3 realistically, because everyone's kind of in that tighter bottleneck to the degree at which like you had to get 10 more reps than somebody else to make a big jump, which is a lot of reps to get.
So you said it's not weighted as heavy? I think
Okay.
every single rep at that bar was so
Oh,
valuable.
no.
It
No,
was ridiculous.
that's what I mean. That's not weighted as heavy. What I'm saying is like you had to get 10 reps to separate yourself. Like if you got 15, you needed to then make the jump to like 25 to get more points.
But that's not necessarily true because of ties. Like, because each rep, like if 12 wasn't good enough, 12 is like 500, but then 19 reps is like 100, right?
No,
Like,
I'm gonna share right now. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, show me the leaderboard. Tell me what you're saying because I don't see that.
No, I'm gonna show you on the indies. So we got it here.
Yeah, show me the indies.
So first place, 61 reps. Mr. Cole Mearns. See 60, 59. Look how tight these reps are. 56. It just
That's literally what I'm saying.
no,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is you had to do like 10 to separate yourself. So like 61, you get a first.
But
To really get-
wouldn't
to
just
really
wouldn't one more rep just pull you up 50 spots if everyone got
no,
the same?
that's what I'm saying. 100 points is 50 reps. To get first, you had to get 10 more reps. That's what I'm saying is the jump. Whereas when you look at a different
Yeah,
work,
but that's ahead of the bottleneck. So what I'm talking about is within
Sure.
the bottleneck. So within that bottleneck of
where
like
do you say the bottom?
9 to 18, 9 to 17, that 8 reps.
Like here, 46. Look at all these 46ers, 47s.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So like if you're in that bottleneck, every
saying the
rep
same
is
thing.
so valuable. Yeah, exactly. So I would say it's weighted heavier. Each rep is weighted heavier than any other test.
No, because these get negated because everyone's getting 43 points, 45 points, 45 points, 47 points, 48 points, 40 or like 248, 249, 249. Like you're all getting the same points. Does that make sense?
Yes, if you get the same reps because it's a tie. But then if you're one rep behind it, then you're going to have
you only get one more point. It's only one more point. It's 49 to 48. Like you're not getting massive amounts of points. Like whereas when we go to this workout here, for people who finish the workout, first place 15 minutes. You get 49 points here, and then you go to the bottleneck that you're talking about, 199 points.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the same page as we went to before with the clean and jerk.
Because everyone's getting the same points at that one rep.
One barbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that one rep, they're getting that.
Spread.
But say there's a 10-way tie at a singular rep. The person who's one rep behind that is then losing 10 points or gaining 10 points.
Sure, but I'm talking about
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's weighted. The workout 2 is weighted way heavier than workout 4. Because if you lose time, you're getting demolished.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, even
because everyone can do it.
Exactly.
Because everyone's ending up in that last round of 50 burpee box bumpers.
That workout 2, I would argue, is weighted the heaviest out of all of them.
I think workout 1 is also weighted very, very heavy because everyone's ending up in the same like 30-ish reps, 40 reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, I agree.
I just don't know how much the weightlifting really mattered. And I use Meg's example, like 700 plates, that still gets 173rd in the region because everything else was pushed her so far up. Like it wasn't enough points, onto her total point tally. But yeah, once you guys look at this stuff, arguably what we're doing in general is we're looking at each individual workout. We're not looking at like ranking. That's something that people need to look at too, and looking at the spread. Because we went to page 4 and what was it? 10 reps. So from first place to 100th place, it was a 10 rep difference. And then there's like huge bottlenecks out there. And then we look at the rest of it. So like when you guys are evaluating your scores, once the masters go up, the age groups go up, you can evaluate your scores. But like looking in through your training, I think evaluating each individual score, and we've said this before, is kind of the best thing to do, and not look at where you're ranked. That's where like this whole tangent started of like, don't compare it to last year. Look at that the tests are different. Look at each individual score. Look at the distance between, because we look at like, Emmanuel and I were looking, and he did 7 more wall balls than me, and that moved him 1,000 places. 7 wall balls. But arguably, if we're in the same room doing the same workout, that fitness is not that far off. And it's true for like where he wants to go from where he's at to the next jump. It's like the 1 wall ball, the 2 wall balls. Because my thing is like this is gonna come out, and people are gonna put their self-worth into, their rank and everything else, and be like, I suck, I'm terrible. But you're not gonna look at the details of your like end result and how far away you were from like your goal. You guys got anything to say in addition to that?
No, I just think it's a good point. I think that in general, whether you're looking at yourself trying to move up from top 200 to top 50 or top 40 in a given region or division, like it's literally splitting hairs. So you're just
and you got to
trying to
remember that.
refine the smallest details. And in the moment, you have to also remember that when you're executing your test or your retest, it's like every single rep, every single decision to pick up the implement, take an extra breath, that's plus or minusing your potential for, hundreds of spots. So depending on the test, of course.
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and like, even just taking into consideration, like, are you doing everything possible? You kind of said it, Harley, when you put it in the Slack before quarters even started. It was like, are you guys recovering? Are you doing nutrition? Are you doing all these things ahead of time? Right. And I think like I had athletes that I was encountering that just wanted to redo, but had no reason like why or how they were going to get better or what they were going to do. And so it's like, you want these scores, but it's like, you need to understand how you're going to get those scores. How are you going to break that down? What's going to happen? Right. And so I think people are just like, I didn't do well enough. I need to just do better. And they just blindly go out and try to do workouts. Or I had athletes who, like, leading up to quarters, had something really stressful going on. And I was like, absolutely, you're not starting tomorrow. You're going to rest day. And then you're going to start the next day. And they're like, no, I'm going to do it. Even though I'm getting up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to do it. And I said, well, no, like, I'm going to have to pull this like audible as your coach and tell you that you are not doing that because you've trained all year for this thing. And it's like, people just like want to do it and just like, I don't know. They're just like getting too hyped up in the thing. And they're not actually like considering, am I putting my best effort forward? Am I doing everything that I can to like do well and get the scores that I need to get, And I think that is a learning process for a lot of athletes.
Yeah. And they're just not looking at a process because like what you're describing is a process of evaluation. And that happens in training and that happens like now. So like right now, the game is over. It's 365 more days until hockey tryouts. You can sit back, evaluate your scores effectively and appropriately without delusion of, I'm 4,000th in the world or whatever. Like get whatever. It doesn't matter. The tests are different. You could have your woe's me moment. That's fine. But then really evaluate, where am I? How far am I from the goal? And why am I that far? Then from there, like building a process of like, okay, well, like, let's say I'm 4 reps short in the first interval workout. That's 1 extra rep on one of those movements in the workout. And that's what Heather's saying. But like, if you're not evaluating that, and like, let's say you want to redo that workout and you come to your coach and like, you're just like, well, I'm just going to go harder. Like JP, even though he can do that. Not everyone's JP.
Right.
Why are you going to go harder? How are you going to go harder? Where are you going to pick up that rep? Do you even know that you have to pick up that extra rep per round to get you to where you want to go? Like, and then also because it's a blind leaderboard, you don't even know if it's 1 rep or if it's 4 reps. So then the question is like, what do you have to give? Look at your video, start evaluating that thing, come in with a detailed plan of where you're going to get. I would say a conservative thing is like, I'm going to get 1 more snatch, I'm going to get 1 more calorie, I'm going to get 1 more box step up. Or you distribute those and go, I'm going to get 2 more snatches and 1 more calorie and no box step ups, get the same number of box step ups. That process of evaluation is building construct as an athlete. And this is something that I'm talking to my athletes about a lot for this next year. When you're training, are you putting in data? Are you putting in split times? Are you putting in, how you feel relative to those split times? Are you acknowledging like, oh, this is a good example. Actually, I had a general member come up today and, they did the interval workout. They're rowing 12 calories every minute. There was a minute of rowing in our workout today and they're trying to hold 12 calories. And then they asked me at the end of class, how do I get better? Like I want to row more calories in the minute. because I want to get that score better. They're already creating that structure and that process in their mind of evaluation, knowing I row 12 calories in 1 minute. I want to row 13 calories in a minute. How do I do that? And I was like, well, you're already halfway there because you know that you can row 12. You're coming into class and rowing 12 in the minute. And then you're going on and building a better construct. I know, I see. Stop reading the comments. I'm building a better construct. And that's going to allow me in every training session to get a little bit better. Now, I explained to this person that, you know, to get really good at this, you know, they're just a member coming in. They're not going to spend more. They could spend more time training if they want to, but I don't recommend that. Just come for your hour. But then it becomes a bigger thing. You got to build volume on the rower, time on the rower at easy paces to build your base. Then you're going to have to do these high power output sessions to take that 12 calories and make it 13. Then you have to build that repeatability of the 13. So you might be doing 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 1 minute on, 1 minute off for however long you think you need to build that to.
An hour and a half.
Yeah. If the work, I mean, if you're an endurance racer, that would be what you'd want to do. But for CrossFit, let's just take that workout 16 minutes. So at minimum, you're going to do it for 32 minutes because you do 1 minute of rowing, 1 minute of, and build out. Yeah, I know that's more than the rowing we did, but that's what you want to do. So you can build that buffer. So when you get asked to do 4 minutes of rowing or 12 minutes of rowing or 8 minutes of rowing or 16 minutes total of rowing, you've done 16 total minutes at interval over and over and over again. That you've built that buffer and resilience and power to do that rowing. On top of that, you're going to want to do what Harley's favorite. You're going to have to do block sessions. We're going to row for 3 minutes and every minute try to hit 12 calories. Then you're going to rest. And then you're going to do it again. 3 minutes, 12 calories, 12 calories, 12 calories. And you got to do all of that rowing. That's 3 days a week of rowing to just improve that singular workout. Mm-hmm. And that's why GPP members don't actually get super good over short periods or even long periods. Because I don't know any CrossFit gyms. Like I've tried to do that, but the attention that people want to give for that is really low. And I understand why. You full-time jobs, you come in for an hour, you want to get fit, you want to get exposure. That kind of training is pretty boring. Unless you are an endurance athlete who's become wired that way for years and years and years. And now we're just talking about rowing. That's wild to me. So now we got to go into snatches. And like I said before, that movement could be clean and jerks, could be thrusters. It could be what? Let's say 10 other movements maybe. And then same thing with the box step ups. Could be what? 6, 7 other movements and different implements and different loadings. And you got to do the same process for that thing that you got to do as rowing. It's wild.
But I think it's also for athletes to understand that because of that, it takes years to
or more time
proficient
or more time in the gym.
Or more time in the gym. But if you're the person that's GPP that just only has an hour, it takes a long time. And I think that people forget, they just look at the athletes in the gym, even other newer GPP people that watch older GPP people who have been there doing it for 10 years, 12 years. And it's they've been doing it for 12 years. So you have to just recognize where you're at in your journey. And I know it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people because we all do it, but that's the process, right? And just coming in and showing up every day and doing the work to the best of your ability in that setting, right?
And if you want to expedite that process, you hire a one-on-one coach and you say, hey, I'm going to spend 4 hours a day or 2 hours a day or whatever that time is allotted to you. And we try to maximize it. Yeah. And you cut the curve faster because you're doing those things. And then there's still no guarantee that you're going to get to where you want in a year time or a 6-month time or a 2-year time, but it'll be faster than that person who comes in an hour a day if that's your goal. Right. And if you're an elite level athlete who doesn't have this process, doesn't understand how you're building metrics from your training sessions, looking at the new training sessions, trying to build constructs around those to push things forward by one repetition, you're already doing yourself a disservice. You're almost, I don't want to go as far as saying you're wasting your time training, but if you're at the peak, like someone like Harley, if you don't go in, Harley, with understanding okay, I'm going to run this run today, or I'm going to do these wall balls. He's already shaking his head. You're almost wasting your time, huh? Mm-hmm. If you don't come in with that, you're just blindly doing workouts.
I love that. I love to waste my time. I have so much of it.
He's being sarcastic.
We all have so much time. Yeah. No, I think that having quantifiable metrics each session that you're striving for, at least an idea, right?
When you're
So I
trying to
know
be
a lot of people.
I mean, I
Well,
want to
yeah, just
clarify real quick. When you're trying to be elite at something and you come in without this stuff that Harley's going to talk about, you are wasting your time. If you don't build this, process and understanding, you might as well just go to class, honestly, because you're saying you don't really want that goal.
Yeah, I was speaking in the context of just anyone who has ideally an individualized program. Like really, it could be any program. It could be GPP members too. Anyone
Yeah.
who wants to get better, if you just walk into the gym mindlessly and just check the boxes, you're leaving a lot on the table. At the very least, like become a student of your own process and
Mhm.
understand, to the example of rowing 12 calories a minute, what your quantifiable goal is for a certain metric of the day. So even if it's a GPP class workout, and it looks like just a bunch of CrossFit on paper, and you're just like, oh, this is just going to be a hard session. It's going to leave me floored, and it's going to be great. It's like if you want to just get better at one characteristic, focus on one thing for the day and be like, hey, I'm gonna always do 10 of this movement unbroken, because that's sort of where I start to waver if I go for 12. And I, instead of doing 12, 3, 3, 3, or whatever the workout is, going 10, 10, that I gave a terrible rep scheme, but you get
More
my,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
you
describing
get
the
my point.
process.
Like this, yeah. Make quantifiable goals that are at the edge of your ability. And some days you'll succeed and some days you won't. But I bet it'll tick the needle further forward faster.
Yeah.
Whether it's an individualized program or a GPP program.
And keep track of that. Like, in Coach RX with our athletes, you have an area to keep track of that for our GPP members. And anybody uses push press, sugar wad up like us, or there's a place to put comments, like write the comments. Like today I did 12 calories on the row. That was my goal. And other things suffered, but I did the 12 calories. So then like, if you have another workout that's very similar and you're like, what, today I'm not really feeling it. I don't want to do the calories, but at least you could do 12. So you go back, look at the 12, you do 12, and maybe you're like, I'm not going to shoot for 13 today. I don't want to, but you do something else. Like Harley's saying, you're like, I want to go unbroken in my air squats today and I'll do the 12 calories. Then do that, shake it up, but write those notes so then you can compare back, because you got to work on all of these things all the time. Like there's a billion movements, not a billion, there's like 23 movements if you want to be competitive in CrossFit, but those 23, that's still a lot. And then they're at varying loads, varying time domains. Like it becomes pretty complex, but you want to just like start with the basic of what is my capacity that I can sustain. Now, how can I do one more rep? That's the other thing. I think people try to be like, well, that so-and-so can do, like I did one clean and jerk at 245. It would be stupid of me to be like, how do I get 20? That's dumb. The best move is, well, I did one. How do I get 5? 5 is a little more attainable. That actually, even I would argue that's probably actually really far outside the reach. How do I do 2? 2 to 3. How do I do 2 to 3? And it just build that. And that's what like we do as coaches. We try to look at those things. We look at the metrics, we look at the building blocks and try to create a process. But as an athlete, you got to get actively engaged in this process by asking yourself questions.
Well, let's just give an example of how you would do that. If you were to do that workout and then retest it, right? So Todd, I don't know how much time you had at that last bar, but like, for example,
27 seconds.
27 seconds.
Yeah.
So you had to, that was coming off a minute rest. So you had a minute rest and then 27 seconds, correct?
Yep.
Cool. So, coming off minute rest, if he knew it was going to be a heavy weight for him, I would probably rest an extra 15, because one clean and jerk is not going to take you more than 10 seconds. And if you're sitting with the bar on your rack, you've made a mistake probably for that long. So find out how much time you had at the final bar, how much time you needed for that one rep. And it's like, all right, well, if that one rep took me 20 seconds because I wanted an extra 10-second break, then you're going to need another 20 seconds. Where do you find 20 seconds throughout that workout? You can watch your video back.
I might need rest,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm thinking of it as like, I'm thinking of things as like cluster sets. So that workout is, in my mind, it's like one rep every 15 seconds, one rep every 20 seconds. And you can find your average cadence across the workout. So by watching your video back, you can say that the 10 reps at 185 took me X amount of time. Say it took 1 minute. So then that's one rep every seconds. That's pretty fast, right? So that may not be a realistic example for the given person who can't do multiple reps at 245 or 5 reps at 245. But say it's hypothetically 1 rep every 6 seconds, then you are going to try to figure out, well, how that was actually pretty good. So then how long was the 225 bar? Well, that one was 1 rep every 20 seconds. So it's like, all right, now I can find 20 seconds for that final bar by going 1 rep every 15 seconds. So then you're going to gain 5 seconds a rep, and you actually gain 50 seconds. So that may be a little too aggressive of a pace, but
That's okay. That still gave me another minute, because if I needed to rest a minute, I did one, then I could rest, and then I could do one more.
almost a whole more minute, almost a whole other minute of time, right? So only adjusting 5 seconds a rep may actually still be attainable, but it would give you a bigger buffer for potentially that second rep, a longer rest period to make it count. And heaven forbid you miss one,
Yeah.
you know, you may have a buzzer shot, you know.
And so Harley did that hypothetically with a workout, training information. He's been training a long time. We do this all the time. And we need you guys as athletes to start doing that with your workouts as you enter the new season, is like looking at your stuff and going, okay, how do I break this down so that way I can create more time for myself? Because it's a mathematical equation, and you can either do it physically or you can't. That's it. That's how straightforward CrossFit is. But if you don't even create a process with training history and data and information, and all you're focused on is this outcome of, I want to get 22 clean and jerks, well, that means nothing.
Right.
Like, cool. I'm glad you want 22 clean and jerks, or I want to make it to semifinals, or I want to be in the top 100, or I want to be in the top 10%. Great. That goal is going to drive you, but without any process, like Harley just went through the process. When people go, well, what's the process? Harley just did it. That's the process. That's how I go back into my training. And when I retest this, I need to approach it differently. I need to go back and watch my video before I retest this. And hopefully I've done subsequent training where I've done echo bike sprints and gone in, because the 225 bar, if I can get better at that, it will make it easier for the 245 bar, because that's not really the problem is the 245. It's the time at which I got to the 245 and the energy expenditure in the 240 to get to the 245, which for me was the 225, got really hard. And that's also a piece. I could write that in my notes, and my coach could see that and go, cool. All right, we're going to do every 3 minutes, we're going to do 12 count echo, and then we're going to do 5 clean and jerks at 225. Or we're going to do that one time and rest 5 minutes and do that for 4 rounds. So I do 12 clean and jerks because the workout was 10. I want to go a little bit over the volume, and I want to apply the intensity and create a longer rest so I'm fatigue resistant, so I can go in and hammer that out. That training session will build for this workout that I want to do better at. And we're doing that as coaches to build that for you, but you got to start making those connections.
And also, to be clear, you don't have to train for this one test.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know. You're training for the idea of what could potentially come out next year. So we know that in these online stages, especially with the trends of this year and last year, that they don't care about 1 rep maxes anymore. And I believe they skewed the leaderboard far too much. So this sort of approach to becoming more resilient at moderate loads is far more applicable to this stage and potentially even the next stage of the season. So.
Yeah. And that session works really well for a lot of different things. That's going to improve your grace time. That's going to improve your DT. That's going to improve. So there's a lot of carryover and translatory effects for different barbell workouts, a lot of hero wads, stuff like that. Heavy grace, obviously at 225,
even the interval workout. I mean,
true.
The barbell.
Yeah. With the snatches. I mean, you're still moving the barbell. Mm-hmm. So that workout that I described as a training session could be snatch, could be thruster, could be whatever, that's building the characteristics of all these other things. It's just typically easier to hyper focus for a little bit on one thing, even though that the clean and jerk will carry into other Olympic weightlifting movements, not as specific. So that's why it's tough. But if you find a chink, I do this workout, but when I do it at 135 thrusters, that really crushes me. So then maybe we should do 135 thrusters and adapt that fitness for a little while and then switch over to something else. Or you could be in a random progression where it's clean and jerks, thrusters, snatch, clean and jerks, thrusters, snatch. And maybe even the echo bike changes to echo bike, row, ski erg, so you get variation. So like Harley's pointing out, we're not always training for that test specifically, because we won't get that one again for a while, if ever. But at least it builds out the characteristic of not being able to move the 225 barbell fast enough with enough steam and energy when I'm done with it to have time and energy to do the 245 bar.
Didn't you refer back to a previous age group qualifier that was the exact same format with snatches?
Yeah.
So they've already done the same format of this test, but with snatches.
True.
So that's a exact example, a very specific example of how you just change one movement pattern, change the loading, tick it up, tick it down just a little bit, and you get a very similar. You're testing for a very similar quality, but just with a very, a variance, a level of variance that isn't just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And we got to build that process and have you guys like engage in that process. Anyone got anything to say? Finish up with what might be some sticking points now, because the leaderboard's gonna come out. You have some, next week we can talk about the workouts, but like, I would argue, regardless of where you're on the leaderboard, this is an endeavor worth pursuing. I told Heather, I think people who spend their time doing something like CrossFit or something that's physical that gets them better, whether that's mountain biking and they go out and do mountain bike races, or it's marathon running and they do it. Typically those people have better habits across the board in the rest of their life, rather than, I don't want to pick on people who are on the couch watching Netflix, but typically those types of people who are, socializing a lot, trying to go to concerts and watching Netflix, those lifestyle choices, though they're fun and you should integrate them into your life, even if you are a CrossFitter, because they're enjoyable and they enrich your life. Movies are great. Concerts are great. I don't want to hate on them. But the people that are pretty habitual at doing those things, always going out for brunch, always going to this concert, always doing that. Heather's laughing about brunch. And those individuals, I think sometimes don't have, because I think on the other end of the spectrum, people really hate on CrossFit or something like CrossFit where it's taking over your life. Like you're always in the gym, you're always doing this. I hear all this stuff all the time, but it's like, yeah, but what's the alternative? Self-medicating and running from your problems and not being really fit. You like choose the lesser of two evils, kind of like. I think chasing down CrossFit, whether you're 5,000th or 10,000th or your first place as an adult, gives you something to push your body and your mind towards in a positive way. That's beyond, just going to the Taylor Swift concert, which I recommend. You should go.
There's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with that, but people.
Tyler jumps in for that.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. I don't want to. I just use
He's
it.
Like, hey, leave Taylor alone.
Popular. I mean, the people, who I'm talking about when I say this. Yeah. And I think those people have more to give in their life than they could. That is helping themselves get better. And it doesn't have to be CrossFit. You could be a bowling champion. I know there's a lot of bowling leagues around here. Like people do that. And you could take it serious and you could practice and you could put some time into it and be proud of something that you're doing. And I think that's the major point. You can't be proud of watching Netflix. You can't be proud, even though people do. They post on Instagram, yeah, we had all these people. We had mimosas, baby. We had this party at our house and we made the best wood-fired pizza of all time. No, you didn't. Or you'd open a wood-fired pizza store and you'd be the best wood-fired pizza store on Yelp and Google. You're not. Like, I get fired up about these things. The reason why you're depressed or sad, because I look at those types of people, it's because you don't have anything that you're really chasing that is adding value to your life beyond, social connection, which you should have, good relationships you should have. And CrossFit can bring you those things because it is community, but so can the Elks Lodge. But you need to really get involved in something for you that is challenging you every day, pushing you towards a positive goal and helping you have greater value within yourself beyond Taylor Swift concerts.
I think I'm going to take up bowling, billiards, and bourbon.
Good. No bourbon.
Bowling,
Class 3
and bourbon after I retire from CrossFit.
As long as you're good at billiards and bowling, I have no problem with it.
I grew up with a pool table. I was on bowling leagues until I was 12. I take this seriously. This ain't no game. This is life. Good. This is real life.
Don't joke about that. You could be really good at it. And at the end of the day, it's
you think I'm joking, but those are actually facts about my life. I did bowling leagues from 6 to 12. 6
got
years of my childhood.
Going with the bee theme, you were also a bull
Yeah.
rider. Were you a bull
And
rider?
I was a bull rider. Yeah.
Dude, killing it.
Dude.
Killing it.
Bears, Beats, Battlestar Galactica. All the bees, man. In the comments, Zen Girl said that someone reached out to HQ and said that they were reviewing or adjusting workout 4 scores.
Okay.
Is that why the leaderboard's broken?
Yep.
Supposedly. So rumor mill, potentially.
So,
Yeah.
Tristan said something very similar.
Yep.
It's off topic, but they're adjusting people's workout 4. So yeah,
Yep.
probably there.
Probably there.
Anyways, I think chasing down CrossFit, if that's your thing, is very valuable and can help you in a lot of areas. And if you want to chase down billiards and bowling, you could also do that too. I always bring up, dang, I forgot of it. Dungeons and Dragons. Like if you're just badass at Dungeons and Dragons, that's good too. That's totally fine. Social interaction. You got the people that come to your house. You guys play.
Is there
You know?
social interaction?
Yeah. If you're playing in person,
Oh,
not if you're playing like online. Don't play online.
people do that in person. I thought it
Yes.
was all online.
Oh my God. Here we go.
I mean, you are the king. You are the king of like nerdy mythical things.
I know
So
I am. I
you like
it.
all that.
D&D has been around since before the internet. So
Yeah, exactly.
take that.
But like if
true,
you're
that's
chasing
true.
that down and you're really good at it and you enjoy it and you're like getting involved into something, I'm just trying to get people to understand that you can get a ton of humanistic value from CrossFit. And I'm tired of people, you know, it doesn't need to be our identity, just like Dungeons and Dragons. You're not like, I am Dungeons and Dragons, man. Like no one walks around doing that. But for some reason, people are like, CrossFit's my life. CrossFit's my identity. Oh, dude. Okay. Anyways,
no wonder
we'll get
you
to
guys
that.
are all friends.
That makes a lot of
All
sense.
friends.
This is why we're
Tristan,
friends.
All of
Tristan,
you guys.
That's a big
that makes a
deal.
lot of sense.
Anyways, I'm not saying make it your identity, but it can be something that you can strive for to get good at, and it brings value to your life. That's beyond, because I think too many people are just sitting around like with nothing. Like, and I just want more people. It doesn't have to be CrossFit. You could woodworking, you could bowling, it could be Dungeons and Dragons. I want it to be something that you're chasing down to enrich your life. Unless like your goal is like, I want to watch every Netflix show ever made. All right, fuck, cool. Then you got it going on, man. Just
You're gonna
make
do it
sure
with
you
a friend
do.
though, so you make it communal.
You do. Hey, human connection is very important, Heather.
I know.
All
Well,
right.
that's the whole point you're making, I think.
Yeah. And having a goal that pushes you outside yourself. Because there's going to be some Netflix shows you don't want to watch.
Mm.
You know? If you are like, I want to go to every state and see Taylor Swift in every state, I respect.
Why
Yeah.
are you attacking Taylor still?
I know.
Because she's the most popular person in music. Like,
I'm just curious. Do you watch Love on the Spectrum?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
okay.
We're not.
Are you sure
gonna
about
check it
that,
out.
Harley? Are you sure? Yeah, me neither. I don't watch that. I
No.
didn't buy it.
Anyways. Yeah, the essence of a goal. Thank you, Charlie. The essence is the goal and whatever it is. And that's the process in which you build around getting towards that goal. Whether you achieve the goal or not, that having the goal helps you build the process that gets you down the road and changes you, whether that's physical or mental or emotional. And that's what I'm getting at. And I'm just sick and tired of people telling a lot of my athletes, like nobody tells me, and it's because I own a gym, but like if I didn't own a gym, I still wouldn't want someone fucking telling me, why are you in the gym all the time? Why the fuck are you watching Netflix all the time? F you. Those people, you can't, like if they're family members, be careful with this, but I would delete them from my freaking Rolodex of individuals on my phone. You out.
Rolodex.
You out. Like you give me a
I'm
hard
the-
time.
I'm
You give
the
me a
old
hard
one.
time about me trying to chase something down and be better and be a better human. And something I want to do that brings me joy and I like it. Just because it doesn't align with your core values or you don't understand it, sorry, you gone. Like, and you should do that. If you're listening to this and you made it this far, get them out. Get new friends. There's 8 billion plus people in the world. Get new friends. Like it's that easy. You don't need them. If they hate on you because you like Dungeons and Dragons, Tristan, get new friends. Don't talk to Harley. Delete them. Get out, Harley.
I feel like Harley likes them too.
He likes Dungeons and
The
Dragons.
three
He
of
just
you
doesn't
are
want to say.
homies.
He's just lying. He's like a level 10 wizard. He's an old,
I don't even know what that means. Bye, Harley. Yep.
bye,
Hey, Tristan doesn't even respond to me on Instagram.
That's because you don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
I haven't played that game in years. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. Thanks for listening to me. Be better.
I have to go row and do hands and push-ups, so I'm gonna get off.
I'm gonna do biking and pulling gymnastics. Then
I
I'm-
love seeing your arms go up and then into Heather's frame.
Yeah.
It's really quite the illusion.
pretty good.
Nice.
For those who don't know, they are in the same room.
Yeah.
We're at the same desk.
Yeah.
It sounds like a weird filter on your camera though. You're like in the Matrix. Like look at the green hue.
I don't know.
See it? You see the green hue? She's moving around the bullets in the Matrix.
Nice.
All right.
Anyways,
Now I'm recreating the Matrix, so
No more questions.
I have no more value to add to this. So
okay.
I'm gonna
See you later.
see you later.
All right, we'll stop our live unless anyone has any questions. We'll leave 2 minutes for questions. Unless Heather wants to get on a soapbox and tell people how great they could be, how to love themselves and to chase what you want. Can't keep you down.
I don't have a lot to say about that right now.
Build a process.
Yeah.
Dude,
Be
I want to
better.
know what rank I was. I was like 2,000 something.
Well,
I want to know what rank I am now.
what time is it?
Still waiting for this leaderboard. Why couldn't people just put their scores in the right way?
Is that officially why it's not up?
I
or
don't
we
know if that's like the reason why I'm gonna be upset.
Mm.
Because I did my due diligence and I put my score in correctly, and I want to know where I sit on the leaderboard.
Yeah, Tristan.
How
says,
long
we
are they
ready
gonna
for
be
a
able-
nap? Yes.
Already for a nap. No, man.
I would agree with that. Yes.
I told Heather-
I am.
What was this? B because people suck. LOL. Nice, Charlie.
That's true,
Nice,
Charlie.
Charlie.
That's true. You're right.
Are we ready for a nap? No, man. You keep it rolling, dude.
I mean, at
Let's
least I
go.
feel like I can walk today, so that's good. It's been 2 days since the wall ball workout, so I'm feeling a lot better today.
Should have just did less reps.
Well, it doesn't matter because the leaderboard's not up. My score is
I know,
not.
who knows? No, you got you knew that originally. Now it's taken down.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, this sucks. Oh, that's why people suck. Because they couldn't put their score in appropriately.
Oh,
And now it's ruining it for everyone. Thanks a lot, guys and girls.
Mhm.
Well, all right. Next week we have Tristan on apparently, and we go over the workouts. We'll let him talk next week. I will be silent. Good luck.
love that.
Remember, like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. If you liked my rant at the end, tell them to fast forward to like 1:12, an hour and 12 minutes. It'll probably pop up. And you can hear about how you got to see Taylor Swift less and find a goal in your life that you want to achieve more. I think that was a synopsis of that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Sweet. All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.